There we go.
Yay. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. And this is Marcy over there. I always forget.
Hi.
But this is the Sleep When You're Dead or Sleep When I'm Dead book club live show. And we decided to read The Glass Forest by Cynthia Swanson. And I'm so glad for those who decided to participate and read the book and as well as join the live show. So Marcy, do you want to introduce yourself, about your social media, like what you like to read and stuff like that?
Sure. I'm Marcy, and all of my social media platforms are Marcy Reads. I mostly spend most of my time on Instagram. It's where I don't know, since the beginning, I've just been more active on there. And I recently started doing YouTube. I'm more of a horror reader, but I dabble in a little bit of everything. And I'm just starting to be more active on my channel because there was a time there where I wasn't even uploading anything. It's just so hard sometimes. But yeah, no, that's about it. Majority of my reads are horror, but lately I've ventured into the whole historical fantasy witchy books, and I have
Ooh,
fallen in love.
really?
Yes.
Huh.
Such a surprise.
Yeah, I do know when I ever need a horror recommendation, I definitely check out your channel because I feel like you're just the horror queen and stuff like that.
Thank you.
But you're talking about historical witchy stuff. I have two friends in my outside of YouTube that love that type of stuff, and they're always like, recommend me a book. I'm like, I have no idea what to recommend you in that area.
I just started reading, I started with the Practical Magic series, and
Oh,
then yeah, I read all 4 books in 1 month, and it was the time of my life. And then after that, in December I read The Lost Apothecary and also fell in love with that one. So I'm hoping to explore more of that
okay,
subgenre.
awesome. Yeah, I, I didn't know Practical Magic. I love the movie. Are we there? Okay.
You're
Sorry,
freezing
we're
up a little bit,
screaming
yeah.
like a minute. Oh, okay. It's probably my husband on his stupid PlayStation, um, but I did not know that Practical Magic was based off a book, and that's one of me and my mom's favorite movies that we read. So I definitely want to read that eventually. And then The Last Apothecary has such a beautiful cover that I just love it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice, nice. If I can think of anyone else recommending those, I'll let you know because
Yeah.
that is a specific type of thing. Have you read? Is it The Year of the Witching?
No, but I do have it here, and I'm hoping to get to it soon
Okay,
because I've been so intrigued by it.
nice. Okay, cool. Let's see what everyone is saying. Hey, Kim, how
Hi,
are
Kim.
you? And Gwen,
Hi, Gwen.
hello. I'm here to fangirl over Marcy.
Oh, we were just on another live. I was on Naomi's reading sprints, and she was
Mhm.
there, and she was like, "Are you warming up for your live?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
Oop, there we go. Helen, how are you? Also, this is Marcy's channel. Definitely go check her out. I'm definitely going to link everything in the description after the live show. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Hey, Kim, look how beautiful my friends are.
Oh,
Gwen,
Gwen
you're
is so
so freaking
sweet.
sweet. I know. Who's wearing their book club merch? Not me. Mine's in the wash. Mine's in the wash too.
I haven't
Um,
gotten mine yet, man. I'm on this no spending thing where I'm trying not
mhm.
to buy it, and then everybody's coming out with merch, and I'm like, my wallet.
Yeah, I actually wore mine to the gym this morning, so it was a little sweaty, so I had to wash it. So, oh, stop it. Y'all are too sweet. This book was bananas. Yeah, we'll get all into that. Hello, Christy. How about the 4 books in the Practical Magic series? Is there 4?
Yeah, there's 4,
Interesting.
and
Huh.
they're all fantastic.
Have you read all
You're
of them?
freezing. You're freezing up.
Oh, ugh, I want to tell him to get off. Let me yeah. Okay. It might act weird, but give me 1 second.
You're good.
There? You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figured out what was the problem. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, we've got like 2 Wi-Fi things, and I don't know why, but like my husband like kicks me off the other one, so I just kicked him off the other one. So he can suffer.
There you go.
How are you? Glad you can make it. Marcy loves the practical magic books.
I
Nice.
do. I do. I read them in November and I read them
Mhm.
back to back because I just could not get enough of this world and this family. It was such a wild ride.
Yeah. I know like some of the books are like part of book of the month, so maybe I might have to pick up at least
They all
practical.
are. I got them
Oh,
all from
really?
Book of the Month and they're all nice and matchy and beautiful on my
Mhm.
shelf.
I love when they all match. Like all my Riley Sager books, they all
Yes.
match except for Survive the Night, and it drives me crazy.
Oh my gosh. Are they Book of the Month ones or
Mhm.
they're just the regular ones? Yeah.
They're all book of the month except Survive the Night. And
Oh.
I went ahead and pre-ordered it because he had said it's not going to be part of book of the month, and it was an add-on. So,
Oh my. Yeah, I
yeah.
got mine all from Book of the Month.
Kim says, "Get off the PlayStation, Mr. Reading." Kim, you're so funny. Wi-Fi battles at Jess's house. Yeah, practical magic rules. Nice. Okay. So I only have one game, like I was telling Marcy earlier. But I thought this one was kind of cool,
I'm
something
nervous.
different. So picture yourself. Like you're leaning over an edge and you're holding 2 books. You can only save one from falling off the cliff into a fiery pit of fire. Which one do you save?
Oh Lord.
Yeah. So I went to your Goodreads and looked at your 5-star reads.
Okay.
And I tried to pair them up accordingly. So the first one I have is Pet Cemetery or Lisi's Story. I think that's how it's
Okay.
name.
Yeah.
Which one would you save?
Definitely Lisi's story.
Really?
Yes.
I have not read that one. I've read Pet Cemetery and loved it.
I'm always nervous to recommend that book because when I first tried reading, I've already reread it, but when I first tried reading it, I was like 150 pages in and I was so bored. I was like, oh my God, what is this? But because I was in this reading group doing a read along with some friends on
Mhm.
Instagram, my friend was just pushing me through and pushing me through. And I got past that bump and I fell in love with that story so hard. So I get nervous because I know that people are going to go through that when they do read the book. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want them to give up, but I don't want to push anybody either, you know? So
Yeah. I think I remember Gwen saying that you pushed her to keep that book because I think she was talking about unhauling it or something, and she
yeah,
ended up keeping it. So
I hope she loves it.
yeah, actually, I think my mom. So I have another bookshelf like back here, but it has like it's literally full of nothing but Stephen King, and they're all my mom's old Stephen Kings.
Oh, I
I think
love.
the only ones I don't have are like the Dark Tower series, but like those I'm not that interested in
Yeah,
reading. And my mom, I don't know if this was like a thing, but she always had paperback books with the covers ripped off for some reason.
that's so weird. I don't
Yeah,
know why.
all of her horror books were like that for some reason, but she can keep those. I'm not interested in those. But, yeah, Marcy is pushing me to read it when I get the audio. When I get the audio, yeah.
Yeah, the audiobook is much, much better. And even if you try to watch the show, because my husband watched the show with me, and even the show is very slow going, like the
Mhm.
book is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my mom has that one. I think she's reading it right now. Okay, so number 2, you have The Pines by Blake Crouch or The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon.
Which one am I saving?
Yeah.
The Winter People.
Oh, I DNF'd to that one.
Did you? Oh
Yeah,
my.
I don't know what it is, but that author and me just don't get along. I think the only one liked by her was The Invited, but I know a lot of people love it.
I loved The Invited. And you know what's funny with that one is that I've heard a lot of people say that if they read The Winter People first and they hated The Invited,
Mhm.
but the people that have read The Invited first have hated The Winter People. So I'm just like, but I loved The Invited so, so much. I thought it was just so atmospheric, but I didn't enjoy The Winter People as much, but Blake Crouch and me have like an iffy relationship.
Yeah, I haven't read that one, but I remember seeing it as like a TV series.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
thought that was, I think I watched the whole first series. I don't know if there was a second one or not, but I
Yeah.
remember liking it.
My husband loved the show.
Love The Invited. It was my favorite. Yeah, I think I've only read that one in the winter. Well, I DNF'd the Winter People. So
Was it just like boring for you?
I just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. Like it
Yeah.
just wasn't sparking my interest.
Yeah.
Gwyn's more option for me, man. But I am so excited about the new book this year. Yeah. I like the cover of the new one too.
Yeah.
Okay. These don't really kind of go together, but like You and Brother. Which one do you save?
Brother, for sure.
What? No. I love the You series.
Oh, so I've only read book 1 and I have not watched the shows yet, but I loved the book.
Yeah.
But I read it so long ago. Now I read Brother a long time ago too, but Brother, that ending, have you read Brother?
Mm-hmm.
That ending, I was boohoo crying. It was just,
Yeah, I think I read that, like reading Gabby's favorite, like, or reading her recommendations or something. I forgot what the video was, but I remember reading it and loved it. And then I actually just recently got more books by Naya Alborn. I got The Devil Crept In, and then The Shuddering, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
It's in the living room. So, because that's the only Naya Alborn I've read by so far. So, but yeah, I do like Brother, but I feel like You got me back into reading because it was a show. But
yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic book. But if I'm ever given a choice between like a thriller and like a horror novel, for some reason, I tend to, yeah.
Let's see, Kim goes with horror, or goes with you, and then Boohoo Crying.
Boohoo Crying. It did. It had me crying so much.
Okay, the next one, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, or Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh, the Seven Husbands for sure.
Okay, yes. I read that one and loved it, and then I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I know it's like cool that it's like a documentary format, but I just wasn't a fan of that.
No, I enjoyed it. Taylor Jenkins Reid can do no wrong in my eyes. Like every book I've read of hers has been 5 stars. And so, but I can see how, what was the name of it? Oh my gosh.
Daisy Jones.
Daisy Jones it's very different.
Yeah. I mean, I gave it 4 stars, but I just, Seven Husbands is just so much better in my opinion.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that is a tough one if you love both. Daisy Jones is my favorite. I think those are the only 2 I've read by her. I might throw myself into the fire if I don't have to choose. Boy, you're so funny. She's like, I'll just yeet myself over there.
You haven't read One True Loves, right, by her?
No, I have Malibu Rising, and then I also have Forever Interrupted. Those are the only 2 that I own.
Yeah, I have Malibu. I haven't read it yet, but One True Loves, I loved it so much. Another book that every book makes me cry, but that one made me cry so hard too. So good.
That's the one where like her fiance or husband got like in a plane crash, but ended up surviving. Okay, yeah. I remember checking out from my library, but I just never ended up reading it.
It was good.
Okay. I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Oh.
Or The House at the Bottom of the Lake.
Oh, no, Jess. No. Okay, so like A House at the Bottom of the Lake is like really small and I could stick it in
into the other one.
The other one, and I could save them both. Damn. I think I would have to go with I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah, I would agree. That one, I remember reading or listening to the audiobook and it like gave me the creeps at
Oh my
times.
gosh, yes, when it's repeating that, like,
Yes.
oh, I got
Yeah.
chills.
I hated the movie though. Absolutely hated it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it because I was
Don't.
supposed to in like this movie watch along thing. I think we read that for Horror in 24 or Stacks of Strange, one of the two book clubs.
Mhm.
And we had a watch along afterwards, but I just could not make it. And everybody was like, listen, just stay away. Don't watch it because it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the beginning was okay, but then it got too like I don't even want flowery. I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's the right word. Like it just got too and I was like, I
Like
know
too
what it's trying.
magically realism, kind
Yeah,
of.
and I was like, I know what it's trying to do, but I don't visually like it.
I think
So
that that's what a lot of people's complaint was. The house at the
Gwen,
bottom of the lake sucked. Gwen.
no ma'am. That one made me feel claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, yes. Under that water, I was like trying to like
Mhm.
grasp for air.
Yeah, like I was like they would go I was like well, first of all, I don't know how kids got scuba diving gear, but when they went into the house, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't breathe. I just can't breathe. I need you
Me
to come up
too.
for air."
Me too. Me too. I just the ending was a little bit like because I don't like ambiguous endings.
I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah, and so like that sort of left me like a little bit like, but just the whole like feeling and everything throughout the book
Mhm.
was so good.
Um, yeah, and I like how both of them I like how I pair them with both ambiguous endings. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 more. Kill Creek by Scott Thomas or The Nightmare Room?
Oh, the Nightmare Room for sure.
Really?
I mean, I love Kill Creek, but the Nightmare Room to me was I don't like haunted house novels. I actually can't stand them. So this was one of the first books that I read that was about a haunted house that I absolutely loved. So I that one holds a really special place in my heart. So
Really?
yeah.
Honestly, I put it on here because I thought the cover was pretty because I
Yeah.
haven't read it.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna circle it so I can go read it now.
Yeah, I mean it's so good. It's I did I listen to the audiobook of that one? I think I listened to the audiobook and it was just amazing.
Huh, nice. No Exit or The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager.
Oh man. I think I would have to go with No Exit. I mean, I love them both, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I just No Exit for me was such a big hit that I
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading it live on I think it was Jacqueline's channel when she had those huge live shows, and I
the
remember, like
Read with Friends.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
was, like, reading it, I was like and people in the comments were like, "Is she okay?" And I was just like, "No, I'm not okay. This is too much."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it was intense.
Yeah, and I cannot wait for the show or movie, whatever it is on
It's
Hulu.
gonna have a show? I didn't know
Mhm.
that.
It's gonna be on Hulu. I don't know when it's coming out, but yeah, I've
Oh,
heard it's gonna be a show
fun.
or a
Oh, that's
movie.
gonna be so I hope they don't mess it up, man, because that it
Yeah.
has a lot of potential.
Mhm. But I remember reading it as, like, an action movie.
Yeah.
No Exit or we already did that one. Wilder Girls or The House in the Cerulean Sea?
Ooh. Oh man. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with Wilder Girls.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I picked those because they were kinda like are they YA? I know The House of the Cerulean Sea is Wilder
Um, I'm not
well,
sure. I think that's adult. Is it?
huh. Well, I'm not surprised you picked Wilder Girls because doesn't that have, like, horror elements to
Yeah,
it?
it's horror
That's
adjacent
okay.
kind of. And I
Yeah.
mean I really enjoyed that one. It was kind of like ambiguous as well, but
Mhm.
I enjoyed the characters so much.
Oh, yeah. And last one, Beach Read or People We Meet on Vacation?
Oh no, Jess. No. Oh wow. Oh, I love them both so much and they were both favorite books of mine in 2021 and in 2020.
Mhm.
Oh,
I've only read Beach Read, but I plan to read People We Meet on Vacation this year.
Oh man. And I don't know if it's because I want to go with People We Meet on Vacation, but I don't know if I'm doing that because I read it not recently, but it's the one that I read, sooner than Beach. I
Yeah.
mean, Beach Read was in 2020.
Mhm.
Oh, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Beach Read. That's it. Beach Read.
Okay. I will agree, just because that's the only one I've read.
Oh my gosh, so good. You need to read People We Meet on Vacation. I can't wait for her new one.
Yeah, if there's ever like a romance readathon or something coming up, I definitely want to choose that, because I remember reading Beach Read for Romanceathon.
Oh yeah.
Loved it. So I'm saving that one specifically for something to do with romance type of thing.
Yeah, that would be good.
Oh yeah.
And that's a
Oh
good like summary read as well, like
yeah.
Beach Read was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember, after the pandemic happened, our vacation got postponed to 2021. So that was
Oh,
so as I got to read that, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to the beach.
oh yep, yep.
Let's see. People we meet on vacation, I think they should have stayed just friends, no chemistry.
Oh,
Oh, well.
I get it. I get it though.
Yeah. Well, everyone loves a happy ending.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and start with the book discussion. Some of the questions are spoiler free. I'll let you guys know when we get into spoilers. But typically for my live shows, I like to have my co-host pick the books. And I know you sent me like 6 books, I think, at once. And I think we both agreed on the Glass Forest. So what was your reasoning for having the Glass Forest?
It's just one of these books that I've had on my TBR the longest. And I mean, number one, the cover to it just really appealed to me.
I know. I love this coloring.
Yeah. I love covers that have like houses or windows to like signify that there's a house. I mean, I don't know. It just really intrigues me. And the synopsis was just, I mean, so catchy. And so I was so happy when you said the Glass Forest, because that was actually, I think, the one that I wanted to read the most out of the stack that I sent you.
Well, you sent me a pile of 5. I can't remember what the other ones were, but I was like, I've never heard of any of these. So I had to look them all up, and I was like, and that's what I love about like having co-host pick it, because I feel like I find books that I've never heard of or I've been meaning to get to. So I had never heard of this author or this book before, and this one did sound the most intriguing.
Yeah.
So have you read anything by this author before?
No, this was my first one.
Okay, gotcha. And are there any other titles that you have your eye on?
She actually does have another novel. I think she only has these 2, The Glass Forest and The Bookseller. And I honestly didn't look into The Bookseller until I was answering this question, just to see what else she had. Because sometimes like I'll see the book and I'll recognize the book, but not so much by the author.
Yeah.
And when I went to see it, I saw this one, but I haven't really read the synopsis yet. But just by the title, I want to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm so gravitated towards covers and things like that and the title. And I was like, oh, glad, but it's their last name. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's still interesting. So
Yes.
but yeah, I did see the Bookseller, and I think that's the one she's mostly known for too, after doing a bit of
it's her
research.
debut novel, but I really don't know. Did you look at the synopsis or anything?
I did when I started reading this one. So I don't know 100% about what it's about, because I try to forget it if I'm actually going to plan on reading it.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of my least favorite questions, but also my favorite to ask, is how would you describe this book in 3 words?
Okay, so I think I put slow burn. I don't know if that's not one word, but technically it's like one description. So I would do slow burn, engaging, and a little bit infuriating at times.
Yeah, I just put slow, unsettling, because we'll get to that later. And then I also put dated, just because of it is in the 1940s to the 1960s, and there are quite a few things that are very dated.
Yeah.
So, but with what you also said, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think that was like what made it infuriating. Infuriating is some of the things that were just so from back in the day that we look at now and we're like, what?
Yeah.
That would not fly today, honey.
Yeah. Need to get with the times.
Yeah.
Are there any other books or movies or shows that you would compare this one to, if anyone's interested in the style?
I'm not good with that. I'm not good at comparing books. And sometimes when I read books, especially mystery thrillers, that everything has been done so much. I sort of like close myself off for comparisons. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense, but I told you already that I'm really looking forward to see what you recommend.
I had a hard time finding some, but there was one that stuck out, and I was trying to find. Oh, it's right here. Duh. But just with something that's happening, like not up front as much, but I would say the Rona Girls
Oh,
by
I
Amy.
have that one.
Yeah. Have you read it?
I have not, but ever
Okay.
since I heard Jackie talk about it, I've
Mhm.
been dying to read it.
I love this one. And I thought it was really like I don't know. I used to live in a town called Roanoke.
Okay.
So that's what made me want to read this to begin with. It has nothing to do with that Roanoke.
Right.
But yeah, there's an element in there that is very like what's happening, but you're like, is this really happening? Like it's never like in black and white. And I
Okay.
saw a lot of that in this one too.
Okay.
I did look up other reviews as well, and I saw a few people mentioning Emma in the Night. I actually DNF'd that one.
Really? I
Yeah.
own it and it's been on my shelves forever.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to read it.
Um, I don't know. It's the author. Like I've tried reading her other stuff too, so I don't think it's the actual story. I just the author's writing's
Oh,
not from me.
okay.
But I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the comparison is because I DNF'd it pretty early, and that's when I first started getting into thrillers. So I didn't
Okay.
really know what I did and didn't like or anything like that.
And it's also YA, so I'm wondering if that had something to do with it.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, it is YA.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make sense then.
Yeah.
Um, Slow,
So creepy.
creepy. Gwen also DNF the Emma in the Night. Yeah.
Oh man, now I'm nervous to go into that one.
I mean, I again, I read it, gosh, or tried to read it in like 2018,
Oh
maybe.
yeah.
And I had just gotten back into reading. So I mean it's probably good, actually.
Well, I'm gonna
Um,
read it and then I'll let you know what the comparisons are
oh yeah.
between the two.
Yeah, definitely. So on a Goodreads rating system, what are you rating this book between 1 and 5?
I think I'm gonna go with 4 stars. I think I told you already that I was leaning towards 3 stars at the
Mhm.
beginning of the book. But then I really liked how everything like started wrapping up and the direction that the book took towards the middle and the end. So I think 4 stars.
Gotcha. I am rating it 3 because I do think the last half was 4 stars and the first half was 2 stars. So I'm meeting in the middle.
There you go.
From what I can remember, I was telling you earlier that I had read it so early in the month, and now I'm trying to like wrap my head around it and see like what I can remember and things like that. If you're viewing, let me know what you rated it if you read it. Also, I think Gwen tried to read Emma in the Night because it was one of Kayla's, I'm assuming Books of
Oh,
Lawless favorite thriller.
yeah,
So, 3
three
stars.
stars.
I'm assuming that's a 3 star as well with me. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the other book that I did with Gwen, Actually Dying for Christmas, I feel like it was a 2 star and then a 4 star, and I met in the middle with a 3 star.
Yeah.
Um, so this is the last one before we get into spoilers, but do you think there's any trigger warnings that you would recommend letting people know if they haven't read it or decide they want to read it and come back and watch the rest of the show?
Yeah, definitely the racism that's seen between the brothers and people of color, Black
Mhm.
people. And then also the mental and verbal abuse that these two men just put their wives through. I was just like, what is wrong with these
Yeah.
men and these women that are just like, okay.
Yeah, and like I think we had mentioned or you had mentioned in your notes and like I had mentioned earlier, I think it's just with that time error, that's just
Yeah.
how it was. But I mean, these people are still kind of messed up in the head. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely racism, verbal and mental abuse. I think suicide as well is in there as well, from what I gathered. Um, War as well.
Yeah.
That if that's something that you're sensitive about, definitely. So, all right, we will get into the spoilery stuff. But if you want to stick around, definitely do. If you want to read the book, come back and chat with us, definitely do that. So most books can say a lot about the book based on the first chapter or two. What would you say the first few chapters, like what kind of impression did it give you in the beginning?
It was definitely, I knew it was going to be a slow burn because that first chapter was just like, and oh my gosh, Angie just got on my nerves from the beginning. I was like, what is wrong with this lady? So I knew it was going to be like an obnoxious, maybe annoying character with like a very slow burn kind of plot.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of the, so it does have like three perspectives. And so I will say Angie was the most annoying out of the three. I thought the first chapter was really good, and then
Okay.
like it switched over to the other wife's point of view, and I don't know why, but I thought we were only going to have one point of view throughout the whole book.
Okay.
Or no, it switched to Ruby's. I'm sorry, it switched to Ruby, which is the niece. Yeah, the niece's point of view.
Yeah.
So I think it going in between wasn't what I was expecting. So it definitely had a slow burn, very slow pace. But I feel like the first chapter was like, okay, here's what you need to know, and this is what's happening. And then like the next few chapters were like slow.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
So
I think my favorite one was Celia's point of view because it was more like, I don't know, just her relationship with her mother I liked. And then meeting Henry, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And then just her going through life. I think she was my favorite point of view out of all of them.
Same. Yeah. I was getting ready to ask like whose point of view was your favorite.
Yeah.
I would say hers, then Ruby's.
Ruby's.
And then Angie would fall at the end.
Oh my gosh. She was, I mean, let me tell you, like, she was a trooper in this whole novel. Like, she was the one that, like, you know, brought it together, I guess, in my opinion. But she was the most obnoxious with her neediness. Oh my gosh. This lady was so needy. Like, kiss me, Paul. No.
Do you think it's because there was a huge age gap between Paul and Angie? Do you think it could have been because she was so much younger?
I think it could have been the age gap. And then again, it was just the times, you know, like, because I think, when was it that they met? Like in the 60s, maybe, I want to say.
Think so, yeah.
Well, there might have been like a 15-year gap there, but I still even believe that the 60s, even though it wasn't the 40s, like what we went through with Celia, it was still in the sense of like, you know, being a virgin. I don't know if she was a virgin when she met her husband, but, you know, very devoted to the husband and to the children and submissive, you know, so that's what we got a lot of from her. And I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah, exactly. 3 stars. She was talking about books and Lala, and then too slow. It was kind of boring. Yeah. I agree. Okay. So would you say, even with it being a slow burn, would you say you were immediately hooked with the story, or was it something you had to like get into the story to get actually more interested into the story?
Yeah, it took a while. Like, I think at the beginning, I was even like about to message you, but I was on vacation while I was trying to like sneak it in a couple of times. And so I really didn't like message you, but I was gonna be like, hey, have you started reading this? Because it's kind of boring and I feel really bad.
Yeah. I thought about like messaging you too, because I think like you have put in there, but I was like, gosh, I really want to DNF this book. But I can't because she picked it and I agreed with it and it's for the live show, but it got better after a while. I will say like I said, the first chapter kind of hooked me, but then like it took a while. So I was like, oh, I kind of want to DNF it, but I could see it's picking up just slower than I would like.
Yeah, I agree. I think it took about halfway or more than the halfway point for me to be like, okay, well, it's not so bad. And I think it was just getting used to Angie's voice as well. And getting to that point where she wasn't that submissive wife anymore. I think that really got me going. But that was just towards the end.
Yeah. Like her character changed, or
yeah,
like her mission or whatever.
Yeah.
Guess we had already said this, but were there any characters that stood out or that you were rooting for? I know you said Celia was definitely your favorite character. What do you think of Ruby, though?
I really liked Ruby. There was something very mysterious about her where you really didn't know if she was involved. You got the sense that she was in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I really liked how dark her character was, and that quietness that she had going on. But at the same time, I was just like, come on, let's get him. I get it. You're
Mm-hmm.
like this quiet girl. Let's move on. Let's get to the meat of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like she was very mysterious, and I always had the suspicion to like keep my eye on her throughout the book, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess with her being like the teenager, like I was like, oh, it's just her age, or like that she's just acting out. But
Moody. Hmm.
yeah, moody. But I definitely liked Celia's character, and I liked like her flashback chapters
Yes.
of like everything that's progressed to this. So.
Yeah. And like when she first meets Henry, how
Hmm.
she's all like, like butterfly head, and she's like, oh, Henry.
Yeah.
It's like, and I knew, I'm like, this poor girl is gonna get her heart broken because she's so
Hmm.
like, and he was such a to her, like, oh,
No. Tiffany said she absolutely loved the
oh,
book.
good.
Gwen didn't read it, but she's just here for the time, which is fine. I can see why people DNF it. It was slow, but I got caught up in the story pretty quickly. Nice.
Nice.
I read it like a historical fiction, like historical. Yeah, it definitely had that which I don't like historical fiction for some reason. I don't know why. Even though like I like books like The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and like 11/22/63 is one of my favorites, but I don't know. I felt like it wasn't going to be as historical, but it was a little bit more than I would like, but oh
Yeah,
well.
it was, especially in the talks of like the war and what was going
Mhm,
on with the as far as like the politics go. But again, it
mhm.
was like a book that was set in the part of the book that was set in the 40s, and the majority of the story that we're listening to from Celia and Henry together was from the 40s. So it does feel a little bit like that. And then him coming back from the war, it
Mhm.
had all those elements in it. And I
Yeah.
don't like historical fiction unless it's like fantasy
Mhm.
historical, then I will, or like witchy, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, historical fiction is a little boring.
Yeah. And it's always like World War II. I'm like, oh, I hate World War II. Like it's always World War II.
I
So,
know.
ugh.
It's like, can we get another time period,
Yeah.
please?
Like, actually, anything before World War II, I'm like, ugh, whatever. Let's see. I lost my place. Oh, so based on the format or the style of the book, how would you describe the writing? I know we said slow burn.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought it was good. I like how she weaved the past and the present. I
mhm,
love that the chapters were short because I
mhm,
felt like it made the story go a lot quicker, even if it was a slow burn, because we kept switching. But at the same time, like that switching of point of views kind of could be a little jarring at times. But I liked the short chapters,
mhm.
and I just like how everything tied in together. It was predictable. Like
Yeah.
I sensed and I saw what was coming from like the beginning.
Mhm,
I knew, I think we talk about this later, so I'll leave it for later, but it was just very predictable, but
mhm.
I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see. So do you think the story delivered and met your expectations, or would you say you're more let down?
No, I think it because I was ready to DNF it at the beginning
Mhm,
and I ended up getting hooked afterwards, it sort of surprised me. But if I'm going to go with just reading the synopsis, like prior to reading it, it would probably be a little bit of a disappointment. Um,
mhm.
so I think a little bit of both.
Yeah. I felt like I had a little bit higher expectations just because this was different than what my other book discussions were. And then I like got into that, oh, like I want to DNF at stage. So but it did pick up momentum, and I do feel like I liked how it ended.
Yeah.
Um, it was predictable, like you had said, but like it was also like it was a wave or
Yeah.
like a roller coaster of like my expectations.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Gwen asked how many pages are in there. 338, I
Yeah.
believe. And
Yeah. 338.
Here's a good question. Did you read it physically only, or did you do the audiobook?
I did the audiobook just because I had to, I was like on
Yeah.
vacation and I didn't get to read a lot. And then I got home and I'm like, okay, I need to speed through this. So I did
Mhm.
the audiobook, which did you listen to the audiobook?
Mhm.
I did it have multiple narrators? Yeah, right? Because I feel like Celia's was different than Angie's and was different than Ruby's, or was it just like
I
the
feel like
tone?
Ruby and Angie's was similar, but I do
Similar?
remember Celia's being different. I don't know if it
Mhm.
was maybe she does different voices or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I can tell you right now, if I didn't have the audiobook, I probably would, Dina, because like
Yeah.
I'm very dependent on audiobooks,
Yep.
unfortunately. But yeah, I think I looked, it was like 338 Gwen, in case you are curious on picking it up. Okay, so plot twist. What were your thoughts? You already said they were believable, but like, how would you describe the plot twist? And did you like them? Like, what did you think?
So again, like predictable AF. Like I was like, I knew who Shepard was. I knew that that was David. And I kind of like had the suspicion when they were out at the picnic or whatever it was that they were at, and he's
Mhm.
showing her like some plants and he's like, oh, this is poisonous
Yeah.
to humans. I was like, oh, she poisoned her dad because, but I was kind of hoping, that the mom was still alive, like maybe down in the bunker.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that plot twist where she's actually dead kind of like caught me by surprise, but everything else
Hmm.
was predictable. But I liked it, like I
Hmm.
thought that it was very well done in a way. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say this, even though I'm not like historical fiction type of person, I don't know what it is, but I love like bomb shelters for some reason. I know
Yeah.
that's so weird to say. So yeah, I was hoping she was either alive or like behind everything, even though she wasn't.
Yeah.
But I did like that one. And then yeah, I did kind of get the concept of the poisonous plant or whatever it was. So I didn't know who it could have been, but
Yeah.
I knew that had to be a big factor into it. Otherwise, why would it have been?
Why would it say, yeah? But
Yeah.
like again, there's a part there where we were talking about where she goes to meet with Principal
Mhm.
Hawks or whatever her name was, and
Mhm.
she's like telling her the story of the parents. Like I
Mhm.
found that so, like it didn't do anything for the story. Like it didn't make me
Mhm.
see Paul or Henry in a different way. It didn't make me say, "Oh, that's why they're the way they are." It
Yeah.
was just irrelevant for me.
Yeah. Exactly. And there were 3 narrators.
Okay.
And there's the names.
Caitlin Davis, Jamie Mann. Okay. Yeah, because I was like, they sounded so different, but I'm like, I'm wondering if they're using like different microphone levels or I don't know, playing with their
Yeah.
voice. But I'm so glad because if I would have had to listen to Angie narrate this whole thing, I don't know who narrated Angie, but oh my gosh.
That's funny. Probably, if Caitlin Davis or Davies is listed first, I'm assuming that's who it was. But yeah,
Maybe.
I will say her voice was very, very aggravating. And then Ruby
Oh
killing
my
her
God.
dad was
Yeah.
predictable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw like the signals, and again, I kept my eye on Ruby the whole time.
Yeah. Definitely.
Um,
And it was like a little sexual at times. I was kind of like, what is this? Is this a thriller?
yeah, and I think that's why you would like the Rona Girls,
Okay.
because it's that like it I feel like in this book it wasn't like as black and white as this one, but it's
Okay.
definitely got that in there. And this is like under 300 pages. So I
Yeah,
would
it's a short
definitely,
one.
yeah, it's like, yeah, right under 300 pages. I love it too. And it's got a good narrator.
Oh, nice.
Um, not an annoying one, I promise. So the ending, was there anything else that like how would you say everything tied together like towards the ending?
I think it tied in pretty well, but again, it was that predictable factor. And I was hoping that we would hear from Ruby again
Mhm.
because you know that I got the impression, I don't know if everybody else did, but I sort of got the impression that she was going to leave with Paul, right? I'm getting the brothers right.
Yeah.
That she's going to leave with Paul and she's going to get rid of him, right? Like, and
Mhm.
I'm waiting for that call, that note saying, hey, like he's out of the picture. We got rid of him.
Mhm.
So I liked that aspect of the ending. But
Mhm.
I think that in the next question, when you asked me about additional thoughts, I
Mhm.
was kind of surprised of how, like, I get Celia, like, poor Celia, she's already dead, but it surprised me how Angie was just like, okay, she got hurt when she read the note that Paul writes to Ruby, and she kind of realizes that her husband's in love with his niece, and she finds out that he doesn't love her, and she's like, oh my gosh, he doesn't. And then she just goes into like detective mode and tries
Mhm.
to like, and I don't know, like it was just so quick, and being such a submissive wife, she gets over everything so quickly, goes to her
Mhm.
parents' house, and I don't know if she senses that danger that Ruby was trying to tell her, hey, listen, you need to leave, and she was just
Mhm.
happy to be out of there, or what. But I thought that was kind of like quick.
Yeah, like, yeah, I do feel like she would, like, let go of things or, like, just, like, be like, "Oh, this is happening, but I'm just gonna, like, pretend it's not happening in a way."
Yeah,
So,
she was kind of
yeah.
like naive, but I
Mhm.
mean, if I would have gone through that, I would have been so I mean, the minute I read that my husband was writing to his brother talking about how like miserable he is with me, I would have like
Yeah.
like done, like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh. And she was just like, "Oh, ow, I don't know who this man is." And that's it. I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, ma'am."
Yeah, and I was looking at other people's reviews too, and someone mentioned, like, back in the day, like, getting a divorce wasn't as big of a thing as it is now.
Right.
So that could have been why she was just like, "Oh, I can't believe this is happening," versus like, I'm gone, pack my bags. Because she did, like, uproot and move everything to help out with the family
Yeah.
going through the situation, and yeah.
Yeah, I expected a little bit because of the times and how devoted she was,
Mhm.
and everything that she did. She was just okay, like, okay, fine, I'm going to my parents' house, and I'll move on with my life.
Yeah.
Although when she does meet the new guy, she's like, well, I don't want to rush into anything, and you can sense that trauma that she
Mhm.
went through, but I don't know, maybe I don't know.
Yeah. I don't and then there was the letter that Ruby gave Angie at the end. What were your thoughts on that? I felt like it was weird.
The one where she talks about the accident with Paul, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting it, like, I wanted to see how she got rid of Paul and, like, what, like, I just wanted to hear an update from her. So I
Mhm.
liked it, but I was just like, "Okay, well, he fell off the cliff," and
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do people not get in trouble for these things back in the
Yeah.
day?"
No, they like, I don't think any of these people would survive in today's culture
No.
if they were real people, especially, like, how marriages are done and stuff like that. I know there's some submissive wives and stuff out there now, but, like, that's not the standard now.
Definitely not. And I mean, I think there's a different kind of I don't even think you can call it submission, but it's more like maybe like respect. I don't know, but yeah, that and you know what? Maybe because I'm sitting here thinking about it, she does change her son's name
Oh,
to
yeah.
William and takes out the Paul part of it. So I guess
Mhm.
that was like an empowering moment for her, and
Yeah.
I really liked that part
Mhm.
because most mothers would have just maybe kept the same name,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
liked that part a lot.
Yeah, and it may have also been because he was, like, a newborn and stuff like that, so it's not like he was, like, a toddler growing up with one name, so but, yeah,
Yeah,
I do now that you mentioned that, I do see where that could be taken as power now
yeah,
at the end, so, I couldn't believe that Angie let Ruby go off with her Uncle Paul, who she had a relationship with. Yeah, I kinda thought that was coming, but I was just like, "No."
yeah.
I always think the good in people, and then I'm always wrong.
Yes. And you let a 16-year-old go off with her abuser. I
Yeah.
think it's because they were family, and I don't think that Angie really believed that
Mhm.
he would ever hurt her. And I think that because she finds out that Ruby was the one that poisoned the dad, like
Mhm.
he wasn't going to be able to get away with anything with anything. So I think she really gave Ruby that power, or
Mhm.
knowing that she had it in her to survive, I guess, or
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
but that was kind of messed up. But at the same time, that is her husband's family, like I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. Weird family.
I mean, I don't think I could. I don't think I could if it was a 16-year-old and I know what she just gone through, that her mom was dead and her dad was dead. You know, who else is going to be rooting for this girl? That was
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah. And like it's your brother. Ugh.
I know.
Did you have any other additional thoughts that you'd like to bring up?
No, that was my only part was that one, how quickly she just got over everything. But
Yeah.
I loved Celia's story in the sense of like how she came up and like after her husband came back from the war hurt and was just didn't want to know anything about anything, how she just kept going and made something of herself and like supported her family and bought this big old house. And for those times, that was very,
Rare.
very like big. You know, I
Yeah.
loved Celia's character so much.
Yeah. I remember reading it and like reading her chapters, which I thought like on paper, it doesn't sound like I would like her character, but like her point of view was the best one. And I would hate when it would end and go to someone else's point of view. I'm like, oh, now I have to
I
go through
know.
these chapters now.
Yeah, because you just want to see what happens with her. Like, I feel like if this book was just on her and what she went through and how she survived and pulled ahead, I honestly wish she would have ended up with David somehow, you know, because after all these years of misery next to this man that just stayed with her because of other people's saying and because divorce wasn't a thing, like, I wish she would have had a happier ending than what
Yeah.
she got because poor girl, she
Yeah.
never got to know anything else out in the open.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome. Well, does anyone else have any questions? Comment in there if you have any specific questions for me or Marcy. While you guys are typing, I'll just go ahead and announce what February's pick is. I do weekly reading sprints on my channel every Monday at 8 p.m. And this past one, I did go ahead and announce this information. So if you like to have little sneak peeks, but we don't have a date yet, but it'll probably be this time in February. But we will be having Jess from Books Past Bedtime here on my channel. I just have to get with her on a date, and we're changing it up. We're not doing a backlist this time. And she's really pushing me to do something I don't like to do. But we will be reading In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which I'm so excited to read, but the audiobook will not be available until March, which
Oh
but I've
no.
been wanting to read this since it got released, and I just have been just waiting and waiting and waiting. So she gave me a list, and honestly, we were both most excited for this one. And so, well, I don't know. What's your definition of a backlist? Because this was released.
That's a backlist.
Okay.
Because it was already released last year. You're in a new,
Okay.
right? Was it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already a backlist.
I think of it like, because this is her debut. So I think of not the newest book is what I think, but it makes sense. So yeah, we will be reading In My Dreams I Hold a Knife with Jess so we'll have two Jesses here on my channel.
That'll be fun.
Oh,
I can't wait. I'm going to join you guys for that one because I've been dying to read that book.
Yeah, I am too. And like, I don't know, I haven't read like a reunion thriller before.
Me neither.
And I know like Gabby loved this one. I know like a bunch of people, I think Haley really liked this one as well. I know Gwen didn't.
Oh, okay.
But oh well.
I'm excited. I want to see what all the
excited.
buzz is about because the majority of the people really were raving about this book when it came out.
Yeah. And she has two books coming out this year. One's a romance and one's a thriller.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I don't keep up with like new books and stuff.
Yeah. I knew she was coming out with a thriller, but I didn't know she was coming out with a romance, which I like when authors do different genres and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Gwen says it's a backlist.
There we
She
go.
will be there for that. Yeah, so definitely bring the heat because I know Gwen did not like this one as well.
Did she finish it though, or did she DNF it?
I think she finished it.
Oh, okay.
I think she read it November, maybe December. I know it was towards the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
And then yes, The Last Housewife is the thriller. Fool Me Once is the romance. So those are both on my radar. And then, she has a question. Oh, that was my question. So did you have a question, Gwen? Or was it what the book was? I can't remember.
I think that might have been what it was.
Yeah. So I'll definitely have more details of the date. It'll probably be, well, I know Jess is like a flight attendant now.
Oh, wow. How cool.
Yeah. So I'm not sure like what time zone she's going to be in. So that should be pretty interesting. So I'll have to get with her on date and time. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't as mind-blowing as I was led to believe. Okay, I thought you hated it. Or cuz I feel like you hated it because you're the only one that I know that did not love
Did
it.
not like it.
So, which I mean, 3 star. I mean, I rated this book that we discussed 3 stars. So
I mean, 3 stars is not, I mean, I don't know how everybody else is it, but when I see a 3-star, I'm like, okay, well, it could be good, you know, like it's enjoyable. To me, 3 stars is enjoyable, but it wasn't just like, wow.
Yeah.
Is that how you see it?
When someone says 3 stars, I kind of look at like the general like feeling about the book to see like, oh, this person thought 3 stars, but this person thought 4, 4.5, 5, or this person thought 3 stars, but other people are rating it 2 and 1 star. So I look at that way.
Okay.
But oh well. I agree with Gwen. It was enjoyable, but not jaw dropping. Okay, so there's 2 people that are in that same.
Yeah. I wonder where we're gonna fall. I can't wait. I can't wait to read it.
That should be really, really interesting. I'm so excited. It's probably going to take me like a week and a half to read it with no audio.
Oh my gosh, I know, because that's a chunker too, right? Like I have the ebook, so
yeah, I have the ebook too. Oh, it's got a reading group guide in here too. I might have to use that. It's 332 pages, so it's about
okay. So like this one, okay.
Yeah, it's not too terrible. I think it's just got like this whole back section of like book club discussion questions.
Oh, that's a nice chunk of.
Yeah. I wonder why. Oh. Anyways, well, I don't see any other questions or anything, but definitely check out Marcy. She's awesome. I love seeing her on Instagram and on her channel. I cannot wait to see more videos from you as well, especially horror, and definitely going to keep my eye out for witchy historical books for you.
Thank you.
I'll be pushing through the audio too. We got this. Yes.
We can do it.
Yes. And I will make sure I read this closer to the date so I don't forget most of the stuff and have to like refresh myself today.
Or maybe you could like take notes if you really want to read it from the beginning.
I got like a reading journal to kind of keep my notes in. It's
hard because I don't know about you, but when I start reading, I'm reading. I'm not one of those people that like stop to take, because it pulls me out of the story.
Yeah, and I don't like to write in my books, I'm not big on annotating or like sticky notes and stuff like that too. So, but I can do this. I'm gonna finally read this book because I've been dying to read it.
You got it.
All right. Well, I guess we will sign off again after the live show. I will have all of Marcy's information, but definitely just look up Marcy Reads on YouTube, on Instagram, and things like that. I know she's got a lot going on, like with like the Stacks of Strange, Horror in 24. She is your horror queen if you need a recommendation. So
thank you.
And I'm definitely checking out, what was that one? Oh my gosh, where is it?
Oh yeah,
The Nightmare Room.
The Nightmare Room. I hope you like it. Like I said, I'm not huge on haunted houses, but that one really did it for me. I love
haunted houses.
That is a trilogy actually, but I feel like you don't have to read the other 2 books. Like the one book stands good on itself. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not a series person, but if it's good enough, I will continue with the series.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Gwen.
Thanks, Gwen.
And Kim, and of course everyone else. Oh, and I have that one too, I think. Oh, cool. So maybe I will get it. Who is the do you know
Christopher Sorensen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we will sign off for now, and I will see you guys in the next one. Again, check out Marcy. There we go. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.